Hi, I'm Matthew Larkin,
I am Gao Weili.
and we're going to be talking about economic markets in three different countries throughout the world. To start, we're going to talk about the United States. And in the United States, there's low corruption. And in terms of economic freedom, they're ranked 12th amongst all other competition, or four countries. Real GDP in the United States is 19.4 trillion, which is an increase of 2.3% from the previous year. And as far as population, the United States is 325.9 million people, and out of all those people, 4.4% are unemployed. And combined value of imports and exports equals about 26.6% of the overall GDP in the United States. And in the United States, we have minimum wage laws. We have a federal minimum wage law. However, states can also change those laws. And then the last give or take 10 years, most states have tended to change their minimum wage law, so it's not a baseline set across the entire United States anymore. And as far as inflation in the United States is about 2.1% as of right now. The next country we're going to be talking about is Sweden. As far as economic freedom, Sweden's ranked 19th amongst all other countries, with a lower population compared to the other two countries we're going to be talking about today of only 10.1 million. Unemployment is actually a little bit higher in Sweden than other countries, with a 6.7% and 2.4% GDP growth, and their GDP is 520.9 billion. Overall score for economic freedom in Sweden has decreased by 1.1 points. And in Sweden, there's no minimum wage laws as compared to China and the United States, where there is actually minimum wage laws. They're the only country we talk about that does not have minimum wage laws. And inflation in Sweden is 1.9%. And as far as corruption, just like the United States, Sweden has a low level of corruption.
The next country is China. The GDP is 23.2 trillion, in increase of 6.9% from the previous year. Population is 1.4 billion. Unemployment is 4.7%. No minimum wage lies on the national level, but states can set wage regulation depending on their correct condition, and it has high level of cooperation, ranked 100 centuries in economic freedom, and also increases tensions in the U.S. China economic relationship has high tax business on incentives, and despite still impressive growth rate, the government adopts lots of economic policies in 2018 to mitigate mild risk to future growth. China will remain mostly unfit.
As far as comparing countries, the United States has slowly declined in economic freedom, while Sweden has increased drastically over the last 25 years. This could be because in the United States, regulations have become more strict, environmental laws have become more strict, therefore making it harder for the economy to grow. However, while doing this, it's more or less based around protecting the average person and workers as well. But that doesn't make the economy grow when countries try to protect their citizens, sadly. And government spending in the United States is almost double that of Sweden, with the United States at 57.1% compared to Sweden at 26.7%. And China's in comparison to Sweden and the United States has very low economic freedom as well as low labor and business freedom. The more regulations a country has, the worse off they seem to be in terms of overall economic freedom. In the last part of comparing countries, Something interesting that we found among the three countries is that they all share in the fact that real GDP has actually increased over the past year. And the United States and Sweden have low levels of corruption in their country, especially compared to China that has a fairly large level of corruption. And in terms of GDP, China and the United States are a fair ways ahead of the curve as compared to Sweden. This can be due to many factors, but perhaps the most important is the fact that there's significantly less people who live in Sweden as compared to the United States and China, which is more than likely the reason for the higher GDPs amongst these two countries as compared to Sweden. We're excited.